I always felt that England would qualify. Obviously, I would like us to do well there, and we could be going into it in better shape. But as far as qualification goes, I had no fears that England weren't going to qualify. So we're not going into it in the best shape, but hopefully what that will do is that will then lessen people's expectations, because I think that the pressure of the expectation, unrealistic in many respects in terms of we are going to be in the World Cup with the best team, have worked against the England teams in the past competitions. So hopefully with less expectation, as there will be this year, especially as Wayne Rooney's missing for the first 2 games, we haven't got a manager as it stands. Some of the players are getting older. With lesser expectations, maybe the players can relax and do themselves justice. Who you can say, I mean, they thought about Theo Walcott, this is like 6 years ago. And of course, I don't want to put any pressure on young players. The old players who you should put pressure on. So then to put all the expectations on young shoulders is not the correct thing to do. So Jack Wilshere would be one who you would have thought, but unfortunately with his injuries, we don't even know if he's going to be there. But if you look at the Rooneys and the Gerrards and the Lampards and the Terrys and the Ferdinands, they're really the ones who you were hoping will, with their experience, can lead the young ones. You probably have a better balance this year between youth and experience. I think that it's been probably, heavily laden over experience as opposed to youth, whereas now there'll be a few young players there as to whether Danny Welbeck then steps up, or Jordan Henderson and the young players coming through. But I think we're still going to have to rely on the old guard for this tournament. We have to improve our quality. That's not enough to win matches, and too often that's what we have relied on, our English spirit and determination to get through. Football has changed from the laws, so we can't be over-aggressive, which is how we normally used to win matches. So we have to add quality to our obvious qualities, but we have quality as well. Teams aren't going to be afraid though, so we have to stop thinking teams are afraid of England because we're England, because that works against us as well. If the whole nation feels they should be afraid of us because we're England, they respect us and we respect them, but teams aren't afraid of each other anymore. Every time we used to play against the Scandinavians, it was a very British affair, because a lot of the Scandinavian players played in the Premier League. It's like when you play Scotland and Wales, and they have a British mentality, they have a British spirit, British physicality, so it's always difficult against the Scandinavian teams. And France are, for me, the best team in the group. Since the World Cup, when they were disastrous, since Laurent Blanc has come, they've got great players and they are probably the most improved team. So they are the favourites to win the group. So England have to be looking, I believe, to try and hold on to the French. And I would expect those 2 teams to go through, England and France. Well, it's difficult when you say that, because if you get through to the next round and you play Spain, chances are you're going to lose, because Spain are the best team in the world. So to say how far you can go, luck has a lot to do with it. But what you would hope is that England goes through the group, and then with a decent draw, they can go all the way. And with a hard draw, maybe they're going to go out. So it's difficult to say how far England are going to go, or anybody's going to go, because as I said, you play against Germany or Spain, who are the 2 favourites for the group. And while we support England, can we say hand on heart that we're going to beat them? So we're going to go to the semi-finals. But I think what you can say is that, I think that we can go through to the quarterfinals, and then after that, with a good draw, maybe we can go further.